folks, it's James at the Back Nine Life coming to you with the next episode of Teed Off, my weekly podcast where I delve into all the news that I view as worth hearing. That's right, no filter, no fluff, and as always, no political affiliations. Before I get into it this week, though, I want to ask you guys a question. I want you to leave it in the comments. We need to start doing that. Let's start leaving comments. Let's start getting engaged. Let's start moving this forward. But I have a question. It's a very important question. If you're sitting there looking at me on a screen, and there's three people, there's one to my left and to my right. Joe Schmales is on my left and Willie is on my right. And someone said to you, Joe Schmales is the one on James's right, but you didn't know who was who. Would you assume that Willie was Joe because he's on my right? Or would you assume that Joe is Joe because you looking at the screen would say that's on his right? Or what if they said to the right of James is Joe Schmale? Would you assume my right or screen right? I had a 15-minute argument on the golf course this week about this. I said, hey, if we say to the right of a person, that means you're thinking you are the person and that you are to the right of them. And Nasty Nathan, my golfing partner, he just was adamant about saying, no, it's the guy that's to the right of you looking at me. We may have a little bit of money on this. We may not have a little bit of money on this. So I need some comments to say how you would do that. Is it the screen right or is it the subject's right? Very important question. Very important question for the fate of the human race. Let me know in the comments. As far as news today, we're going to have some Jennifer Aniston. Glad to see her. She's in the news a little bit. I'm going to have a little bit more Taylor Sheridan. Some big news came out about that. Gold hit another all-time high. I will get into that. And Americans not liking tipping so much anymore. And then ChatGPT IQ of 155 2 years ago. So where is that now today? Jennifer Aniston shares the surprising secret that keeps her looking youthful at 56. I'll tell you, Jennifer Aniston, she looks great. She's still getting carded, I believe. I mean, this lady is, she's 56, then I'm 96. Yeah, she's aging like fine wine and I'm aging like milk. This article got into things you need to do in life. And since I have a Back Nine Life channel, I do need to probably start getting into more lifestyle choices and things like that. She looks great. She also has a lot of money to look great. I actually worked in the Peninsula Beverly Hills Hotel in, I believe it was 2003, 2004. I was working as a spa coordinator there. And the facialist was at the time Jennifer Aniston's personal esthetician. That's what they were called. And I would see her come in and she would get a lot of treatments. And I actually got some treatments from this lady. Nerida Joy was her name. Usually Nerida would go to her house, but she did come into the spa a couple times. And she was a very attractive woman back then and still is very attractive. The level of care that she got and the amount of money put into it, yeah, you're going to look good. She admits in the article that she does these sort of things. It's not like she's trying to hide that she doesn't do the occasional surgery or whatever else. But for the regular people like us, it's like we're back to setting a standard that this is what we need to look like at 56. And it's just, whoa, it's hard. It's hard to do for us regular folk, us peasants, to stay beautiful. I mean, and we get so self-conscious about it because these celebrities do look great whenever they age and do bikini model shots on the beach, and we just feel terrible about it. I mean, it's part of the reason I wear a hat in most of my videos is that, I'm going bald. Does that make me less attractive? No, but does it make me more insecure? Probably, yes, absolutely. Because I used to have a great head of hair. I used to have a head of hair that would knock your socks off. But that was a long time ago, and it's not coming back. What we do with our physical health, our mindset towards ourselves in going into the back nine of our life is very important. And I've found a few things that I should jump into more. Water. Water is the biggest thing. I've never been a big water drinker. Dehydration, I mean, that sucks your energy so bad in midlife. If you aren't hydrated, it just feels like you can do nothing most of the time. And then, of course, things like your coffee and your tea, alcohol, they'll dehydrate you quicker. And I work outside a lot. I sweat a lot. And I tell you, it's just hard for me to keep up with how much water to drink. And I do feel grunged down sometimes, and that makes me feel worse. It also makes me look worse. Drink water because it's the only way I can get enough energy to do these podcasts sometimes and then edit it all. But don't also set the standard of a celebrity and how they look to be what you should look like. We've done that forever. And then we got into a phase of we said fat's beautiful or whatever, and we did all that. But fat's not beautiful. Ozempic wouldn't be making any money if being fat was beautiful. I understand that it's tough. It's tough, especially if we did have the money. If I hit the Powerball tonight for the 1.8 billion, I'll look good. I promise you, I'll look great in about 2 weeks. Next, Sam Elliott to join the cast of Landman Season 2. Oh, you kind of saw it coming. Sam Elliott and Taylor Sheridan have done collaborations before in 1883. This guy, he looks exactly. I saw Roadhouse again, the original Roadhouse, not the Jake Gyllenhaal, Conor McGregor slugfest, but the Patrick Swayze one, and Sam Elliott was in it. I'll sleep when I'm dead. And I'll tell you, Sam Elliott, like I said, he looks the same as he did in Roadhouse. The guy doesn't age, and that mustache is a actor in itself. It deserves its own credit in Landman this year. And Taylor Sheridan, if you're watching this, credit Sam Elliott's mustache, because that has made him a fortune and a lot of other people a fortune. That is a great mustache. Yeah, the back nine of life looks a lot cooler whenever Sam Elliott's walking beside you. I can tell you that. Boy, he's walking right there with us, and he still looks great. He looks like him and Jennifer Aniston. They look great. Great. Keep the mustache. Keep power to the mustache. The others coming on, though, and this is what I said last week, and this is why I wanted to revisit, because I said Taylor Sheridan, he was just on his horse going down Hollywood Boulevard with his lasso, and he was just snatching up actors, whatever actor he wanted. He'd snatch them up and hog tie them, just right there in the middle, and jump up, be clear. Got this one, bagged him. Sam Elliott, done. Ed Harris got signed to do the Rip and Beth spinoff, working title Dutton Ranch. Tulsa King trailer footage has also shown Samuel Jackson. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon you. Robert Patrick, who was the Terminator in Terminator 2, the liquid guy. He's been in a lot of stuff too. Roped him, hog-tied him right there in front of the Man Chinese Theater. Kevin Pollak, he was Lieutenant Weinberg. You can't handle the truth. We live in a world that has walls. Men have to guard those walls with guns. Who's going to do it? You? Lieutenant Kevin? You? Lieutenant Weinberg? This guy's got so many different shows going on. I'm so excited for this TV season, this streaming season. Taylor Sheridan still killing it. I told you he'd kill it, and it took less than a week, and he is killing it even more. Oh, Americans have reached their tipping point as gratuities spiral out of control. Yeah. A lot of things to say about tips. I mean, tipping used to be a thank you. Now it feels like a ransom note, doesn't it? Whenever you go to a restaurant, doesn't it feel like you're being extorted for money almost in the gratuity section? Sometimes they just blatantly say, hey, we're going to throw on a 18% gratuity tax or whatever, which, can you really call it a tax? I don't think that it actually says tax on it. Maybe it does. I haven't been out to eat in a while. I usually will stay in and cook most of my meals. But yeah, at this point, everybody's wanting a tip. Everybody's wanting us to round up on dollar to the next dollar to give to some charity, to do whatever. I mean, I go to Walmart now, and I'm just waiting for the self-check kiosk to ask me for a tip. I get it. I mean, I'm a tipper. I've always been a big tipper, actually. Grew up loving Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack, and Frank Sinatra was known to be a big tipper, and so I thought it was cool whenever I had money in my pocket, and I'd go to the bar, and I'd tell the bartender, I'd be like, I'd tip her 100, and then I'd ask her, I'd be like, what was the biggest tip you ever got? And she'd be like, $50, and then I'd turn around, making sure that everybody can hear, and I'd be like, who gave you the $50? And she said, you did. Last night. I love doing that stuff. I also don't just tip for the sake of tipping. It's becoming it has become an obligation. You can't go to a restaurant and not tip. You will be shamed by anybody around. The thing about it, though, is whenever I was growing up, it was 15%, and that was your tip. Yeah, that was the standard. And now it seems that they want 18%, 22%. And they claim inflation, but I'm also like, okay, well, the price of the meal has gone up with inflation. So the 15% is still the 15% of the check. So I'm already paying for the inflation. What's the other 3%? What's the other 6% coming from? Nobody's ever been able to give me a straight answer on that. Why we just all of a sudden said that, well, the 15% is moving up to 18%, to 22%, to 25%. Pretty soon, you will not be able to go to a restaurant without giving a 100% tip. And that might be a little complicated since meals out at restaurants, I don't even know what they average now, but I'm sure they average over $100. It's expensive meal just to get rid of it on the toilet the next day. You know what I'm saying? But do tip your waitresses, do tip your bartenders, do tip your pizza delivery people. Tip whenever it's appropriate is what I say, not just out of obligation. And that whole rounding up to the next number for some charity, I never do that. I don't care how much I've been shamed. I will not do that because I've seen too many nonprofit organizations who have CEOs or the presidents of them that live in some pretty massive houses and make some bank each year. I'll give to charity, but I'm making sure that that money gets to where it's supposed to go. Gold hits another all-time high, $3,639.80 an ounce this week. Man, the reason this one struck me is I grew up getting silver and gold, well, not gold, but silver in my stockings. And then whenever I had gotten enough money, I started to buy gold because I saw the value in gold, or at least the perceived value in gold, which has been there forever. It's been there for thousands of years, this perceived value that gold is actually worth something. Now, in the end of the day, it's a hunk of metal, and it's a hunk of metal that isn't really used for too many commercial or industrial processes. But we all see it as valuable because it's so rare and shiny and beautiful. So I knew that buying gold, I could always sell gold because so many people would always want it. I got to the point where I had a good chunk of gold. I had over 20 ounces of gold and silver. Silver is now $41.50 an ounce. And I had almost 4,000 ounces of silver. And I was planning on never really selling them. They were going to be there. Those were the assets to hang on to. And I had them physically. I had them in a safe. I wasn't going to get rid of them. I was going to keep them. But I ended up getting a divorce. And a divorce that was very, very costly. It got to where I had to sell some assets. The gold and the silver were just the assets that needed to be sold. I started selling the gold at about $400 an ounce, which now, like I said, it's $36.39, and I was selling this at almost 2 years ago now, and I regret it so much. I hated that I had to do it, but I needed to live, and that's why you have assets anyways. Whenever you hit hard times, you gotta get rid of them. So I started doing that, and then silver I started selling at about $32.50 an ounce, which it's at $41.51 now. Today I don't have much left. I had a lifetime built up of silver and gold and precious metals. Divorce just gutted it. Now that's what this article caught me on. I was like, is it a buying time now? The Olympics called, man. They want their medals back. I mean, I go play golf now and I start panning for gold in the sand traps. That's how much this stuff is getting worth, and it's going parabolic. It's going straight up and to the right. I mean, that chart is looking like that. Pawn shops are going to have VIP velvet ropes and bouncers. Oh, yeah, I regretted it so much, and that's part of what I try to do on this channel is let you feel some of my pain, and that was a painful one. That was one of probably the most painful part of my divorce was having to get rid of my precious metals and then seeing them in the next year just explode in value. But we live, we learn. Last one, ChatGPT IQ 155. And this was 2 years ago. That was 2 software update versions back. So it's probably way higher now. I mean, a 155 IQ, and this thing still can't tell me how to properly fold a fitted sheet. There's only about 0.2%, 0.2%, I think, of humans that have an equivalent or higher IQ. It's probably surpassed those people with the 5th version out now. I mean, that's scary. It's scary. And I guess it's scary, but it's the future. It's the future. You just can't fight it. I've started going on Reddit and other forums where YouTubers are talking, and they are just adamant against all this AI stuff. And I'm just like, guys, you got to do it. You will be passed. Each time I do this podcast, I will look at the news during the week and read some articles. Usually, I'm like everybody. I'll see the headlines and I'll I might find one that strikes me. So I usually will go to ChatGPT and I'll be like, look, why don't you tell me a couple news articles? Give me some punchy one-liners for it. So I don't have much script going on, obviously, during these podcasts. It's all improv. But the punchy one-liners usually are ChatGPT spitting them out to me and then me fine-tuning them for my own life, which saves me a ton of time. That means I don't have to think about any of that. It also means I'm not really looking up obscure news articles. There's a bunch of other things it can do as well, but 2 years ago, its IQ was 155, and now it's just teaching me how to be sarcastic. Not that I needed any help. I've been pretty sarcastic my entire life. And the other thing it's really doing more than anything is it's patiently teaching me how to use my iPhone and to edit in Final Cut Pro. It's patiently doing. I just take a picture of the screen. I say, what is going on here? How do I get to this? How do I get to this? It says, I understand your problems. I understand the frustrations. Let's take a look at it. And that's the way ChatGPT, if you still haven't used it, this is the nicest thing in the world. It is so supportive. It is so positive. It is so, even whenever it's lying to you and you catch it lying to you, it is so positive about that you can't be mad at it. Tell me in the comments too. Like I said, let's get some comments going on. I want to start interacting with you guys. You leave the comments. How are you using ChatGPT? How are you using AI in your life? How are you using AI in your day-to-day? If you aren't, then how do you think AI can solve a different problem for you? Because there are so many ways, and you really got to learn how to start to prompt these things in the ways you do things, which is a big problem for a lot of people, and why they get so much misinformation is that they're not asking it the right questions the right way. You really need to have that, and a lot of people are saying that a prompt engineer is not going to be a job in the future, that AI will be able to create its own prompt engineering. But I think the humans will be the gatekeepers to the next step of AI, will be people that actually know how to give these things prompts to get exact answers. Because it's not going to be efficient. It's just going to be more time consuming if you don't know how to exactly ask it to do the task that you're asking it to do. Anyway, fascinating world, scary world. That's pretty smart. That is a pretty smart, or the ability to be smart, I guess, is what IQ really is. All right, there we go. Pretty short this week. Another slow news week, kind of tinkered around. Like I said, I've been delving into this Mac and the editing software and the Canva, which is another AI generated thing. If you looked at my YouTube homepage lately, you see that I have now married all the fun thumbnails together so they all look kind of like one thing. Put the branding issue on there, the Back 9 Life logo incorporated into all these things, and really have started to try to hone in what I'm doing with this channel and what I'm going to be trying to do. And I'm going to be pivoting in that way. But I'll pivot that way after I get into the analytics this month. I've said before, I don't look at the analytics on a daily basis. I will check them out once a month, and that will be this week that I will check them out and give an analytic overview of what is going on with the channel and how it's telling me what I need to do. And if that goes against what I want to do, then I have to do compromises to please my audience, or else you guys will go away. But if you haven't gone away yet, thank you very much. Thank you for tuning in again. Let me know the answer to that very first question. Right, left, right, who's right? Looking at the screen. I need to know that, because you guys are the deciding factor. You guys are the Judge Judy of that. Yeah, that's right, Kim. You're Judge Judy yourself. You're going to love that. Anyway, guys, have a good week. I'll have the analytic content out to you. If you want to check out another podcast, it's right up here. If you're just hanging out during the day cleaning the house, play a playlist on your TV while you're cleaning. You'll like it. All right. See you guys next week.